Hi everybody, it's Jessica, the Dollhouse Curator, and today I will be doing my first process making video on some Miniverse Target balls that I picked up. So we got two of these, so I wound up getting the blueberry pancakes and the sugar cookies. And y'all, I initially recorded this video. The volume was all over the place, so I decided to just shrink the video and turn it into a voiceover. But as I was going through preparing to do the sugar cookies and do this process, I also, going through my collection, I saw that there were a couple of other items that I could possibly make, kind of remix that were at least similar to what could come in this. So we also pulled out, on top of doing the sugar cookies, we also pulled out our madeleines that we had from another series, some of our ice cream sundaes. We also thought about doing a pizza as part of this as well. But for this one, we will only be doing two. So we decided to do the sugar cookies and some sundaes. So we got this really cute bullseye bag with the set. We got some pink frosting to go with it, or resin. We also got some rainbow sprinkles with this one, and of course we got 10 of these little adorable sugar cookies that are basic that we are going to be making in this video. So I will say that as I was going through and preparing to do this, I thought the pink icing would be nice, but I wanted to remix these, so I decided to pull out a few other resins that I had to make more of a rainbow frosted sugar cookie. So we will definitely be using the pink icing, but I also pulled out some yellow. I pulled out some lavender as an option. We also thought about some red. I have both the Mini Brands Create and some Miniverse Red resin as well. And y'all, I also thought about doing a chocolate one, but that Miniverse Create was like totally dead. We pulled out some vanilla frosting, or better yet, some white. And then I also thought about doing the Oreo one that comes with the Oreo pie. So I had all of those out, and I was like, definitely we're going to be doing a rainbow version of these. I also used my hot glue gun. I had it plugged up as well so that we can do some remixing on the sundaes when we get there. And I also pulled out my Mini Brands Create UV light along with my regular nail light, because I figure I could use the smaller one to just kind of go over a little bit, and then I could really seal everything in with my nail light. So here I'm explaining that I put tape on top of the table that I was using so that I could stick the cookies to the tape instead of them sliding all around as I was doing it, as well as I pulled out some coffee stirrers to assist me in case the resin was a little hard, or, you know, I needed to dig in there to get it. And as much as I did want to use the sprinkles, I also pulled out some other items that I had from other Miniverse things, including these cute little flowers that came with the petit fours. In one of those, I had 8 of those to start with. And I also will be using some other items as well as we go along. So here I am just sticking the cookies to the tape so that I don't have to worry about them moving around as I am trying to do my icing and my design on them. And also, as you see underneath, I have one of those 11 by 14 inch boards. I have it turned upside down so that any mess that I make with the sprinkles or with any of the items can be contained in that area so that I can use it for super easy cleanup. I also pulled out all of my other resins because, again, there was one color that I definitely did want to do with these rainbow sugar cookies, which was kind of a blue or a teal. But y'all, I had absolutely no blue or no teal resin in all of these resins that I had, so it was slightly disappointing. And when I opened up my chocolate from that Mini Brands Create, y'all, it was completely dead. Yes, completely. So I had to go ahead and throw that out. But thankfully, I did have some other chocolate that we were able to use. Also, one of the other things that I recommend if you're going to be attempting to do some rainbow cookie remixing is I pulled out numerous of the resin nozzles that came with these sets, so that way as I was going through and doing the different resin colors, I wouldn't have to keep changing the nozzle and risk mixing in other colors into the design that I wanted to make. So also with this, y'all, I also recommend have a napkin or a towel, something close, because as much as I tried not to get resin on my hands as I was doing this, I definitely got a little bit of resin on my fingers numerous times. And I went ahead and finished my project, but I definitely had to scrub my hands afterwards. So here I am going through, and I decided to do two cookies in each color. So I'm going through with each of the resins that I'm choosing to use and doing just a very light layer over the top. You definitely don't want to make this resin too thick when you're putting it on, or you risk not being able to get the cookies back in the package, which is a battle that I had to fight. Even though I did say it in the initial video, don't make the resin too thick, I made the resin too thick on a few of the cookies, but I was able to get them in the package at the end, and y'all will be able to see that, but it was a slight struggle. So as I'm going through and doing my design on the cookies, I'm using each resin that I want to use, but I am only doing a light layer over the top. And after I get my first initial layer put on for each one of the cookies, then I am going to go through with my UV light and kind of just seal that in. So for the most part, majority of the resin that I used was from older MiniVerse products, and it really did set pretty well with the older resin, but the new resin from the actual sugar cookies did stay a bit more damp, but that actually helped out a little bit in the end because it helped me really be able to get the design how I wanted and get things placed as I wanted as we went through. With having the cookies taped to the table, that worked like a charm, y'all. It kept all of the cookies in the place that I wanted them to be. I didn't have to worry about them sliding around or having to hold them down with any of my fingers as I was going through to do my design. So that was a really neat trick that I put down, and I definitely recommend if you're doing these or any of these little projects as you're going through, use that because it really did work. Unfortunately, I didn't have any, double-sided tape, so I had to just use regular tape, but it still worked out extremely well. Y'all, this video is going to be about 25 minutes, so I also did a whole bunch of just talk and rambling as part of this process, as well as I was making these little projects. I had a blast doing it, but some of the things that I rambled about was the fact that our channel officially yesterday on November 10th, because I'm recording this on Veterans Day, November 11th. So our channel is officially 2 years old. I am ecstatic that we have been able to stick around for 2 years on YouTube, to gain subscribers, to gain views, to read all of your comments that y'all leave. I absolutely love reading the comments. So if you have not left comments on some of the videos that you like for our content, definitely go back and leave comments or start leaving comments, because it just really is a joy for us. And I do mean us, because between me, my husband, and my 2 boys, the 4 of us, we always are thinking of ways that we can improve what we're doing for the channel, as well as thinking about what's upcoming and what's coming next for our channel, because it really has become kind of a little family project. They may not always be as involved in the dollhouse as I am, but before anything is seen by you all, it has definitely been quality checked by my 17-year-old, my 20-year-old, my husband, and myself numerous times, and we absolutely love what we do for you all. I will also say, y'all just saw me using the little UV light to go over the first layer of the cookies. It worked like a charm. Really, it did, especially just to give me a little bit of hardness over there so that I can go over and redo each color to make it a little bit darker. And that's what I'm doing here. As I said, the new resin that came with the actual sugar cookies did not dry as fast, but that actually worked to my benefit because I was able to go in and really crisp up the design how I wanted it to be. And as I was going through, I also figured out that in making all of this and doing it the way that I wanted to, it was really a nice little stress relief. It really is. Just we were without internet today. I will not get into that story because it will be a frustrating mess. But it was really fun to just sit down tonight and say, okay, we're going to do a process video. It's something that I have never done for the channel. I know I watch a lot of the channels that I like do process videos, and I love seeing them, but I just never did it myself because either I didn't make the items so that I could use them individually, or when I did make them, I didn't want to do a video about it because I was worried about, oh my God, when I knock this over, when I get my finger stuck to it, and all of the mishaps that could happen. But I really enjoy spending this time with you all over doing this project. So here we are going in, and I believe, yes, I did have to go over the cookies again, and I did realize that I needed an additional nozzle. I didn't necessarily pull one out at first, so I tried to use one that was already being used. And of course, I ran into the issue that I had with that color mixing. So I just squeezed it out on a napkin until it got to the color that I wanted to use. And I had very minimal, I mean, like you can't even tell that I had changed nodules on the cookies that I did with them, which just so happened to be the white frosting cookies, which, to tell the truth, y'all, did not even need a second layer of resin because they were already too thick as it was. So those were the ones that I struggled with being able to get into the package at the end of this. Actually, I don't even think y'all will see it because by that time I had let them dry with my UV light, and I just was putting them in the package. And yeah, again, it was a struggle to do that. So also, as we're going through, y'all, I have a lot of other items out on the table because, as I said at the beginning, I kind of wanted to remix these. So I decided to use the flowers from the Petit Fours to do some designing on the cookies. I thought the rainbow was nice. I definitely wanted to use the sprinkles, but I wanted just a little bit extra for these. So I used 4 of those little flowers to put on a couple of the cookies so that it would have just a little extra interest since I was pulling out a bunch of stuff, and it was stuff that I hadn't used on other items that I thought it would be fun to use on this. I did, however, have to change a couple of the designs because about now is when I am realizing that the white cookies are a little too thick, and I wanted to put some flowers on those, but again, it was too thick, so I changed my mind and we did the chocolate and the red cookies to have the additional flowers and design on them. So here I'm showing the different type of sprinkles that I had as options, but I did decide to go with just the regular rainbow sprinkles that came with it. And as I'm going through and doing the sprinkles, yes, y'all, they did get everywhere, but I definitely recommend using that 11 by 14 inch board or some type of tray underneath your project so that if you do get the sprinkles everywhere, it really makes for a super easy cleanup by using that tray. And then I'm going to go over the top with using my coffee stirrer to make sure I'm getting my sprinkles in the area that I want them to be, that I have, you know, enough colors of all of the different sprinkles on all of the different designs, and attempting to smush them down so that I do not make them too thick. So hopefully I won't have an issue when I put them in the plastic. But like I said, I did, y'all. It was just the one set of cookies, the white ones. Yes, it was a struggle to get them in the package, but I did get them in there. But I really enjoyed this project, and I really wanted to make this one because they're frosted sugar cookies. So if you just don't make them, then it doesn't even have the appeal that the project really has. So I thought this was a great one to start with for doing my very first process making video. And then after this, we do the ice cream sundae. And I thought that was a great one to do for a process making video because I had numerous of those waffle cones. I had numerous of the ice cream and whipped toppings and all of the different things. So I was like, I didn't have to be as stingy with making those as I would probably be with some of the other items where maybe I only have one of it and I worry about doing it. So here I'm shaking off all of the excess sprinkles, and I think they turned out adorable. So we are going to go into the UV light, and y'all will see that my UV light does not turn off because I love to do my fingernails. Doing my fingernails is a level of self-care for me. I do them a lot, so my UV light is pretty much like, yeah, it is not dead, but it does not work the way it is supposed to anymore. And I will probably not get rid of that UV light until it completely decides to die. So for our ice cream sundae, y'all, I was watching one of the channels that I love. I will have her name and channel linked below. But as part of her doing some of her process making videos, she uses the scrap paper in the bottom of the waffle cone. She hot glues it in there to lift up the design of the ice cream sundae or the waffle cone. And I thought it was a really fun idea to do so that way you get more of your design up top instead of losing it in the empty space underneath. She also hot glues it in so that she doesn't have to worry about resin and whether it's going to dry or not. And one of the other things she used in one of her videos, which I absolutely loved, is she used puffy paint. Now, I didn't have any puffy paint. I just had the resin and the scrap paper, but I thought puffy paint was a great idea. And as I continue to make these items and possibly do some of these videos, I will definitely be using puffy paint in the future, the hot glue, and trying to figure out other non-resin ways to make these because I definitely think that was a great idea. And I have suffered numerous times with some of my projects on getting the resin to set, whether it is the old resin or it is the new resin. I have suffered because not everything, that UV light cannot get through everything. Initially, I was only going to do one sundae, but I decided to go ahead and do two. So I decided to do two different versions of a sundae. So we had a lot of ice cream that we had pulled out. I had a lot of extra of the waffle cones, and I thought it would be fun to do more than one in this project with y'all. So as we're going through, if you can see over to the side, I have a huge amount of the ice creams that I have gotten from the Miniverse. I have a lot of whipped creams that I have gotten, and I had a lot of sprinkles that I had pulled out as well to start doing this project. And using that paper in the bottom was really, really beneficial in keeping everything kind of looking the way I wanted it to look. Another thing that channel does is she hot glues a lot of her projects together, whether it is on top or not. So once she gets it kind of how she wants it to be, she will go over and she'll hot glue the items in so that they are definitely stuck to cut down on drying time. And she also, once she gets it set, she'll go over the top with a clear resin. And I thought that was kind of genius also, so that you still get a little gleam and glaze on your project, but it's still, you know for sure everything is held together. So now I'm explaining that I have all of these different ice creams. So we had salted caramel, Rocky Road, strawberry, Neapolitan, spumani. I also had a vanilla custard that I will show y'all here in a second. But the vanilla custard I did put off to the side because that came with some ice cream cones in one of the series, and I did not want to use those for this project. I only had two, and for the other project that it comes with, it is a two piece project. So I took those out of the mix. But we also had mint chocolate chip, and we had one other one. Oh, spumante. I think I'm saying that right. So it took me about 2 to 3 minutes of running my mouth and just talking to determine which ice creams that I was going to use for this project. So I think we wound up using a Rocky Road, mint chocolate chip, salted caramel, the strawberry from the spumante One, because it had like little cherry pieces in it, or of course darker red pieces in the pink ice cream. And then I also did just like an old-fashioned vanilla. So one of these is being set up as kind of like a Neapolitan sundae, and the other one I did is kind of more of a strawberry and cream. One of the other things I did, y'all, is as I was going through, I kind of worked first to see how I was going to set everything into my waffle cone. Some of the ideas worked, but I did do something a little bit different on the second cone that I thought was kind of worked a little bit better. So once we get there, I will definitely highlight what I'm doing in that point. But as you see, we did one with that Neapolitan look, and then we did one that's more strawberries and cream. And now I'm going in and just hot gluing them in place where I want them. The first design did not turn out as well as I wanted it to with the placement of the ice cream. Even though I had lifted it up and put that paper underneath, it just didn't sit perfectly how I wanted it to. So on the second one, I did a little something different, and I think that worked out a little bit better. So here I'm just pushing everything down and making sure it sits. And then I'm going to go in. Oh, here I'm talking about my favorite nail polish right now. This is LA Colors. I get it from the Dollar General. I'm saying that y'all have seen me in this color probably more than any other. The color is called Finesse. It is a copper glitter. I absolutely love it, and I'm super cheap, so that nail polish is also very super cheap. And doing my nails is part of my self-care, y'all. I absolutely love it. I do my nails quite often, whether I'm just doing my natural nails or if I'm doing me some extensions, which I'm wearing currently in this video. But it just, since I was a kid, I have just always enjoyed doing my nails and just taking that time for myself. So here I decided to switch out, and we are using the mint chocolate chip, but I couldn't get it to sit the way I wanted to. So here in a second, you all will see me take a pair of my nail clippers, and I literally go through and I cut that ice cream scoop 3/4 of the way through. So initially, y'all, I planned to cut it in half. But as I got about 3/4 of the way through, I realized that that was like the perfect design that I needed for the space that I was trying to fill for this project, and it worked out really good. So I'll be getting to that here in just a second because I couldn't get all three of them to sit the way I wanted to. So I thought that was a great idea to go through and just cut it down in hopes that it would fit the design how I wanted it to, and it definitely did. So when I cut it in half, it was very stiff, y'all, so I had to really bend it out, but it did fit in the space how I wanted it to. So I also went in and filled that space in with hot glue so it could stay where I put it. But I love the way it turned out at the end, and it gave me exactly what I wanted with being able to see all of the colors and design of the ice cream sundae. So what is next? After we get through with this, y'all, I do go over and I do my little resin. So we used 3 different types of resin over the top of these. I used a brown one just for the basic chocolate. Here I'm pulling out the cookies because they are done to show you the design. I think all of them adorable. I'm glad I decided to use those flowers. But I decided to use a brown resin, so of course it looked like chocolate sauce. And then I also used pink, and I used white because for the more strawberry sundae, I didn't want to really kill all of the beauty of having the strawberry and the pink and kind of, strawberries and cream look of that one. And then I think at the end, which y'all will see when I post pictures at the end of this video, I did put a little bit of chocolate over the top at the end, but not too much because, again, I really wanted to highlight all of the pink that we did on that one. And then here I went over with 2 different type of sprinkles. So I used some pink and white round sprinkles that I believe I got from one of the Valentine series for the candies. And then I went over it with the rainbow sprinkles that I got with the sugar cookies because I just thought those were super cute and added a lot of festiveness to the design. Also, I did pull out numerous nozzles as I was going through, and I'm glad that I did so that I didn't get color mix in my design. But y'all, I really enjoy kind of this process of making this with you all. I really kind of do hate that the volume didn't work well, so you couldn't actually get the experience of me making it and all of the talk, and I had to come back over it with a voiceover so that it's kind of a little bit all over the place. But it was really a fun project, and we had some time today because our internet is out. I will not get into that because that will frustrate me. But it was really fun, and there you go, y'all. I thought it looked absolutely adorable, so I'm putting them under my UV light so that they can go through and dry. And yeah, I think we're coming to the end of the video. I will post pictures of what these look like in the dollhouse. I had a blast talking to y'all today. So this is Jessica, the dollhouse curator. You are welcome back in the curated dollhouse at any time. And make sure you put some comments down in put some comments under the video, like, share, and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And we will see about continuing to do these kind of process videos. Bye for now, y'all.